December 1st. I'm Sherea, co-founder of the Goal Setters Club, author of the 2024 Goals Journal, launching today. Welcome to our 30-day goal challenge. This is my first time doing this challenge, um, so I'm glad you guys are able to join me. I will be here live every day in the month of December at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time out here in California. And today is day one. And we're going to do 30 days of getting to 2024. So over the next 30 days, you'll have daily encouragement. Each day I will be here live at 6:30 a.m. helping you to jumpstart your progress. If you purchase the upgrade to the premium experience, you will have access to all the worksheets that are either displayed if there are some in the day, you'll have access to those worksheets. Also, if you want to join the Goal Setters Club Mastermind on Facebook, our Facebook group, you are welcome to do that. And then we'll give some tips along the way. This is our 13th year um, publishing our goals journal. And these 30 days will be using parts of the goals journal in our journey. So for those of you who don't know, I am Sherea Vejan. I help individuals achieve their life goals while maintaining a healthy work-life balance. I do that through teaching group coaching programs and hosting monthly goal challenges and live events. I am a published author of over 11 books and journals, including the brand new 2024 Goals Journal. Also, the co-founder of the Goal Setters Club, a coaching organization that specializes in goal setting, exploration, plan implementation, and purpose attainment. We also are relaunching our Goals magazine, a monthly e-zine. This will be this January. We had published it electronically, which will still be available, but we're also going to have a published version, a print version in January. Also, a certified coach trainer with the John C. Maxwell team, mom of 3 adult children, one married, 2 married, I've been married over 32 years, and I have 2 married children and 1 more left to get married. So thanks again for joining me. So we're going to get into day one. Day one, 6 things to consider before you craft your 2024 goals. And let me see if there we go. So what you'll need is your 2024 goals journal. If you have the electronic copy, that will be available inside of the portal. You will have worksheets and then highlighters or pens or being able to take notes. If you take good notes, you'll be okay. So let's get started. My little technology want to work slow today. Okay, so again, welcome to day one of our 30-day goal challenge, 30 days to 2024. Today, I want to talk about before the goal. And one of my favorite quotes is, people may spend their whole lives climbing the ladder of success, only to find that once they reach the top, the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. And so after years of coaching, I've come to realize that there are all kinds of reasons why people set goals. It's either outside influences, goals that your parents set for you, goals that your teacher thinks that you should be this. And sometimes, it sounds like a good goal in general. It looks good on paper. You feel good saying, hey, I want to be a homeowner. Hey, I want to buy this Benz. Hey, I want to do this. I want a family. But deep down, that may not be your actual goals. And so if you settle on goals that don't really feel like you, maybe you didn't know you had other options, maybe you didn't have the confidence, your confidence hasn't grown to the level of the size of your real goals that you have. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're afraid of that confrontation with your family members. Maybe it's a cultural thing, because it takes courage to set and achieve your own goals, not the goals that people set for you. And so today, I believe that there are a few things that you should do before you set your goals. And the acronyms before: brag on yourself, embrace who you are now, forgive yourself, own who you are, remember your why, and expect to change. And so, starting with B, brag on yourself. This is your chance to celebrate your achievements and your recognize your self worth. And during I would recommend, and this is what I was really bad at, and I'm still working on. Sometimes I forget I'm a John Maxwell coach. Sometimes I forget that I went through that year, 2 years of training. I should have been one. Went through my training, but I don't keep my certificate up. Or I've been disc trained, and I forget about that until someone else says they're a disc trainer. It's like, oh wait, I went through that. I'm also a Symbis trainer. I went through marriage counseling course where I can counsel young couples or couples before they get married, and there's like a little process. I forget that. And so I forget that I'm a notary. I forget that I'm a licensed agent, a licensed insurance agent, because I don't keep those things at the top of mind. And so taking your awards, taking your certificates, taking your degrees, taking your accomplishments, and having them in front of you so you remember who you are, and bragging on yourself and bragging to yourself. And sometimes if someone's in your office or someone's in your space, you don't have to say anything because your accolades or your certificates are up, and they go, okay, she might know a little bit about what she's talking about. And so not being afraid to brag on yourself. Again, I struggle with this. I think a lot of women struggle with this. But brag on yourself. The first thing in your goals journal, there's an opportunity for you to list a couple of things. And some of the reflection questions are: what goals did you achieve last year that you are proud of? Did you finish a book? Did you start an article? Did you join the gym? Did you start your family? What things did you achieve last year or in previous years that you're proud of? That way you can come back to that and say, hey, I did this, or I did that, or I accomplished this. And that helps to build your confidence. List at least three positive adjectives that best describe who you are. Sometimes it's not just the accolades, or sometimes it's not just the awards. Sometimes you need to remind yourself, hey, I'm a giver. Hey, I'm smart. Hey, I'm loving. And just keeping those things, bragging on yourself, bragging to yourself, and then listing some skills that you're good at. If you're good at public speaking, if you're good at accounting, sometimes we forget these things because maybe you're working in a field that may not be your gift, and you focus on that and you forget about the other skills that you have. And so having this sheet in front of you, having these reminders of who you are, especially when you get to a rough space, that helps to build your confidence. All right, moving on to E, embrace who you are today. Um, I always encourage, because we have a monthly meetup here at my house. I always encourage us before we start writing down our goals for 2024, do not transfer 2023 unless that's something that is still your goal. But sometimes we don't achieve certain things and we just transfer it over to the next year. We transfer it over to the next thing. And that may not even be who you are. That may not even be what you want anymore. That may not even be what you desire. After all the books you've read, all the conferences you went to, all the new people you met, you might be in a different job, a different environment, and you don't even want that anymore. And so now we start reaching for things that are not even us. So take some time to look at your goals and ask yourself, does this still resonate with the current me? And then sometimes you got to sit with yourself and ask yourself, who am I? Am I what has changed? Or when I go into the new year, who am I striving to be? Maybe you're striving to be more organized. Maybe you're striving to be more vocal. Does this goal fit in with where you're trying to go? What aspirations should you carry forward? And which ones should you let go? Maybe you wanted to buy a house and maybe that is not your desire anymore. And it's okay to say, no, I'm going to rent for 2 years instead of striving for a goal that's not yours. How would you describe the differences between yourself now and a year ago? Um, I am definitely I am definitely changing, forcing myself to change on some things. I've joined some new communities. I've joined some new accountability groups. I've joined some new book clubs, and I'm definitely not the same person I was last year. Or if I'm the same person that I am last year, I am clear that there are some things that I need to change as I go into 2024 and start building myself up to that person that I'm becoming. Okay. And just what changes have you undergone? F, forgive yourself. This is crucial. This is a crucial step that teaches us to be kind to ourselves, understanding that mistakes and missteps are just a part of the journey. Um, so one of my other favorite quotes is, "You can't travel back in time to fix your mistakes, but you can learn from them and forgive yourself for not knowing better." And sometimes we do know better, but the choices that we have, these are the only choices we have. Maybe you weren't in a position to make a better choice. Maybe you were in a position to um, you didn't have the discipline that you needed. So the key to starting fresh is to embrace forgiveness, not just once, but frequently. Um, I had to forget my. So the question is, what is the one thing you need to forgive yourself for from 2023? And maybe there's a couple of things. Um, I need to forgive myself for not being disciplined enough to lose the weight. And I know what to do. I know exactly how to lose the weight. I know what I need. I know I know it works for me, but you get yourself into these situations, you let stress take over or your certain environment, or you go, forget, I'm just eating the cake and I'm gonna eat this cake at 12 midnight, knowing better. And so I have to forgive myself for not being disciplined enough, not holding my own self accountable. And I have to be able to conquer that if I'm also teaching other people to reach their goals. And I have to forgive myself for being scared to do these videos. Even scared now to this day, and I'm still knowing that, social media is the new business, and in order for you to exist in business in this age, you have to be on social media in some kind of way. And so I have to forgive myself for not going live, for not posting as much as I can. But in 2024, I guess there's a meme that says, "You're gonna be sick of me. You're gonna be sick of me. I'm gonna be sick of myself." And as I move forward in doing that, I'm doing that in my uncomfortable zone. Um, and I need to forgive myself for shrinking. I shrink a lot. There's a lot of value that I have. There's a lot of knowledge that I have. There's a lot of wisdom that I have. And in the midst of certain environments, I just shrink. I'm quiet. Um, and so I'm worked on my word, and I'll share that with you guys in a future post. But I have my word for next year that's going to help me with that. The O is own who you are. So here we will embrace our identity and acknowledge our unique experiences and who we are. Um, you were born an original, don't die a copy. Before I worked at a church, a New Song Church in Irvine, and before I was on staff at that church, I did not know what an introvert was, had never heard of it. I didn't know what my spiritual gifts were. I didn't know what my love language was. I didn't know that was a thing. But sometimes you just feel a way inside. Oh, you know, I kind of want to go. I want them to invite me to this event, but I really don't want to go. And so when you start battling with certain things, and then I started saying, when I found out I was an introvert and I started doing more research on what an introvert was, I was like, oh, okay. I like people. I just don't want to be around them as much. Where extroverts get their energy off of being in a crowd and hanging with people, where introverts, our energy is drained the more people that we have to interact with. So it wasn't that I didn't like people, but learning and understanding my um, my love languages and learning my disc assessment, learning how I operate in business and office environments, learning how I interact with my husband as far as love language and my family, learning what my spiritual gifts were as I became more involved in the church. And so I want to encourage you to know your assessments, take your assessments, and there are a lot of assessments out there. Don't get overwhelmed with taking. Take the ones that you need. The ones that are in the goals journal are the ones I recommend that kind of help you with your goals, your goal achievement. But there's a lot of assessments out there. You can visit my webpage at shereavejan.com/pages and assessments, and you can just click on the assessment. Some of them, most of them are free, excuse me, and a few of them are paid. R, remember your why by creating a visual. So, one of the most effective ways to stay motivated towards your goals is to create a visual representation, whether it's a vision board, a photo collage, a simple photo that you carry with you. Having a visual reminder of what you're working toward can be incredibly powerful. I put this picture up here, Jamie Foxx, his I never forget that movie. I think it was Collateral when he was a taxi driver, but he always kept this picture in his, I think he kept it on his glove box or he kept it in front of him because as he was doing that work, he never took focus off of what his actual dream was. He always had it with him. And so sometimes if you're working, maybe you're working a 9 to 5 and your desires to have a business, maybe you're single and your desires to be married, maybe you're married and your desires to have kids, keep that visual in front of you so you don't forget your goals. You might be in a certain circumstance at a certain time, but that's not how it's always going to be. So keeping yourself reminded of the goal. Also, if your goal is to travel, you can keep a visual reminder of the places that you have been to encourage you about the places that you are going to go. Other visuals, you can have bracelets, bracelets that remind you of your word of the year. You can wear a t-shirt that reminds you of your goals. You can have posters or paintings in your home that remind you of your goals, just keeping that visual in front of you. You can wear colors, on Monday, I used to wear green on Monday, like Money Monday. You could do Finance Friday and wear green on Friday. So you can create color. You can create wear certain outfits. I know some people wear red on Friday to support the military. So having colors, dressing a certain way, having visual reminders on your computer, on your iPad, a screenshot, just remembering the goals that you have for yourself so you don't forget. And last but not least, expect to change by making room for your goals. There was a story that Steve Harvey used to tell, or he may still tell it. He wanted a new car, and he kept telling his mom, "I'm gonna get a new car," and she was like, "Yeah, Steve, but your old car is still out there on the blocks." Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, mom, I'm gonna get a new car. Okay, Steve, but your old car is still out there on the blocks. Okay, I'm gonna get a new car. Okay, Steve, but your old car is out there on the block. So one day he was like, "Why do you keep, it's like you hating on me. Every time I tell you I'm gonna get a new car, you keep telling me about the car that's on the block." And she's saying, if you want something new, if you're asking God for something new, you gotta make room for it. Make room. Get rid of that old car, make some space, and expect to get the new car. On Christmas time, this is what happens inside of our stores. You go into one store today, and next thing you know, you go tomorrow, and there's Christmas trees, and there's stuff rearranged, and there's these gifts over here because they're making room for the extra sales. They're making room for Black Friday. They're making room because they know this is the time that they're going to get out of debt. And so, as you are working on your goals, as you are saying, "Hey, I want to lose weight," well, where are you going to put the new clothes at? Okay, I want to do this, or where are you going to put that at? Okay, I want a new house. Okay, start packing up the old house or start making sure that you're getting things in order, getting your team in place. So make room for what it is that you expect. All right, you guys. So that was day one. The day one This will probably be the longest. Maybe there's another one that might be a little bit longer, but pretty much it's going to be short, um, short little advice to help you get and prepare for 2024. Today was before the goal, things that I recommend you do before you even start writing out your goals. Um, and so, some other tips as we wrap up our first day together, I want to leave you with um, some small tips. Try to do something else with this challenge. So, yes, this is our 30-day challenge, but what can you have as a companion? So, for me, I need to work on my water. I've been drinking a lot of coffee, especially with the book coming out and reorganizing my website and rebranding and that type of thing. And so sometimes I can drink more coffee um, than water. And so as we do the 30-day challenge, my other challenge is to make sure I drink water and have my supplements. And so maybe you can, if you're struggling in a certain area, maybe it's exercise, maybe it's prayer, maybe it's meditation, taking your supplements. Combine that with this 30-day challenge. So as you come on each morning at 6 a.m. or as you watch the replay, find another task that you can do for 30 days until the end of this challenge. And if you downloaded the premium experience with the downloads, go ahead and download the app. You can scan this right now, and that will give you access to the course. All right. Let's see. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining me for day one. I will see you on day two tomorrow. Go ahead and scan the QR code and get information or sign up on the email list for our 30-day goal challenge. And this was day one. I will see you tomorrow. Have an awesome weekend.